nose or whatever they had. Now, other people said, well, how do you know that they're showing concern because of circuits that are trying to ward off a collision? Maybe they were just startled. So the experiment was done over with a new group of animals, except this time, when the baby animal was on the platform, the large dot was presented on the screen. And when the animal was looking at the large dot, the dot, because of changing the lens setting on the projector, would narrow down to a small dot. The response you got was qualitatively different from the response of going from the small dot to the big dot. When you go from the big dot, from the big spot to a small dot, the animal sort of looked forward, and rather than ducking back, and it appeared, if we can anthropomorphize, it appeared to be curious. Hey, what's going on? So
getting the lens cap in the way of you.
The retina is pre-wired that if something suddenly changes its size on the retina, even if it's just a projector screen with different sized dots, we're going to duck and cover. This is another example of binocular depth cues. Okay, so binocular disparity is a binocular depth cue where the two eyes have different angles on the target, and the overlap of the visual image in the brain is compared. Another binocular depth cue is called binocular convergence. Now, this only works for distances of 8 or 10 feet away or closer. And you can do a demonstration of binocular convergence yourself. See, there are muscles that control the movement of the eyes, the oculomotor muscles. And it turns out that these muscles provide kinesthetic feedback to the brain, and the brain can actually calculate the depth of an object that we're looking at. Here's a way to demonstrate this for yourself. Hold your arm out as far as you can, and look at your index finger, and then slowly bring it toward your nose, and concentrate on any sensations you might get from the oculomotor muscles. You'll begin to feel a tightness in those muscles. And this tightness is an indication that these muscles are sending kinesthetic feedback to the brain, telling the brain,
That's
hey,
your sister.
The eyes draw closer and closer, so the object must be closer and closer. This is another example of a binocular depth cue. The second category of depth cues, the ones that are more based on learning and experience rather than pre-wired circuits,
I guess she wants to hang out with you, Alfred.
Monocular depth cues. Now, you can
Or
imagine
go
from
explore the
name,
world.
these are depth cues that can be used with a single eye. It is still possible to perceive depth.
Okay,
if you're blind
crazy.
in one eye. People who are blind in one eye can still qualify for driver's licenses. They can still perceive depth. Perhaps not quite as well as using binocular depth cues also, but well enough not to be engaged in traffic accidents at any greater frequency than people with both eyes functioning. Monocular depth cues are the kinds of cues that an artist would use to produce the effect of depth in a two-dimensional painting. Monocular depth cues are clearly based on learning and experience. They're not innate. Look at children's art, for example. Children don't know how to use monocular depth cues. If a child is going to draw a picture of two figures, one supposedly behind the other, they might make both figures the same height so that one looks like it's standing on the other one's head. Artists know that if you want to make one figure a little smaller, one figure farther away, make it smaller. This is an example of a monocular depth cue.
Are you sad because I keep putting you back here?
Monocular depth cues that are
Poor
used by
baby.
artists include such things as, well, what I just mentioned, relative size. If you want to make one thing look farther away, make it smaller.
Okay, let's go outside.
Another example of a monocular depth cue would be overlapping or superposition. Make the